Hello again. I am Aditi Dubey. In this episode, we shift our focus away from hospitals and labs and step out into the world around us, into homes, schools, supermarkets, city streets, and countryside lanes. Because sometimes cancer doesn't come from within, it arrives quietly, shaped by what we eat, drink, breathe, and believe to be normal. Let's start with a truth that's hard to swallow. Up to 40% of cancers are preventable. That's not a hopeful guess. That's decades of epidemiological evidence. In Europe, the leading lifestyle risks are familiar, almost mundane in their repetition. Tobacco, alcohol, poor diet, lack of exercise, obesity. Tobacco alone is responsible for nearly 1 in 5 cancer deaths in the European Union. While smoking rates have declined in many Western countries, they remain stubbornly high in parts of Eastern and Southern Europe. And what's more, new forms like e cigarettes and heated tobacco are complicating public health narratives, especially among youth. Then there is alcohol. Europe per capita consumes more alcohol than any other continent. And while the cultural romance around wine and beer persists, the evidence is unambiguous. Alcohol is carcinogenic. It increases the risk of breast, liver, colorectal, and oropharyngeal cancers, even at moderate levels. But it's not just about what we smoke or sip, it's also about what we eat and how we live. The modern European diet is shifting. Processed meats, sugary drinks, high salt, low fiber. It's a far cry from the traditional Mediterranean plate, once hailed for its protective effects. As portions grow and movement shrinks, obesity has crept in, bringing with it a rise in cancers of the colon, endometrium, pancreas, and even esophagus. And then there is the air we breathe. In cities like Paris, Milan, and Warsaw, fine particulate matter, PM 2.5 and PM 10, exceeds safe thresholds. Long term exposure is linked to lung cancer and more recently, bladder cancer as well. But don't be too quick to idealize the countryside. In regions of Poland and eastern Germany, burning coal and wood for heating still contributes heavily to seasonal air pollution. And in agricultural zones, pesticide exposure poses a different kind of risk, more chronic, less visible, but no less real. So, yes, urban versus rural matters, but not in the way we might assume. City dwellers face pollution and sedentary jobs. Rural populations, on the other hand, may have limited access to fresh food, poor screening access, and offer higher tobacco use. What makes this landscape more complex is inequity. In wealthier parts of Europe, people have the privilege to choose healthier lifestyles, not because they are morally superior, but because they can afford the time, education, and access to do so. In lower income communities, both urban and rural, choices are constrained by environment, economy, and culture. But the good news, change is possible, and it's already underway. We use tobacco free generation campaigns in Scandinavia. Urban planners in Germany and the Netherlands are building bike friendly, walkable spaces. Public health campaigns are reframing alcohol not as tradition but as a risk. Even supermarkets are part of the story, nudging customers toward healthier shelves. The truth is, cancer doesn't just start in cells, it starts in the systems. And to reduce its burden, we must reimagine not only our medicine, but our lifestyles, our cities, and the very rhythms of everyday life. What we put in our bodies, what we inhale, how we move, it all matters. Cancer prevention is not a guilt trip, it's an invitation to live deliberately, to breathe easier, to design a world where wellness is not an exception, but a default. Thank you for listening.